News Channel and across the Salem Radio Network. I'm coming in early tomorrow, an hour earlier than normal across your radio dial. So you can listen at hughhewitt.com beginning at 5 a.m. in the East. I do want to play for you because these ads are a little bit older than other ads. The battlegrounds are so full of ads that they've obscured. We don't know what's going to happen. Donald Trump could win a landslide. He could win by a little, and Kamala Harris can win by a little, but you can't win by a landslide. And so all that's possible. We'll know maybe by late tonight. Certainly, I hope by the time I take in the air in the morning. But I don't want to get ahead of my skis. I cannot say other than I'm feeling pretty good about Donald Trump right now, but I felt pretty good about Mitt Romney in 2012, and I felt pretty bad about Donald Trump in 2016. And I was wrong in both cases, and I've stopped trusting my feelings. I'm so skeptical of feelings in an electorate that grows large and larger and larger by day, and the complexity of which understanding it is beyond me. I can tell you about con law. I can teach constitutional law. I can tell you about cases. I can follow facts. But people who are data-driven scientists need to be in the seat tonight. Do not believe a word of the exit polls. They are, as Brad Todd, great pollster, just put out, exit polls are a tool for understanding what happened, not predicting what will happen. And they are often dirty and wrong in both directions. So just do not believe them. The early exits were very misleading in 2016 when I worked for NBC on election night desk. Do not believe them. But I want to give you a sample of a couple of ads from Pennsylvania and Ohio from the Frontiers of Freedom PAC that you probably have never seen or heard unless you're really a political addict. But this is the sort of thing. Here's an ad from Ohio hitting Sherrod Brown, cut number 10.
Has supported so many bigoted anti-Catholic measures. Ask Sherrod Brown why he won't speak out against the anti-Catholic bigotry in the Democratic Party.
Viva Cristo Rey. Viva la Virgen de Guadalupe.
Frontiers of Freedom Action is responsible for the content of this ad.
All right, now that is an independent expenditure committee ad, and it's hard as nails on Sherrod Brown. Doesn't mention Bernie Moreno is a great practicing Catholic, and that it's a targeted ad that you will have never seen, right? If you're not a Catholic living in Ohio, you probably will not have seen that ad. Let me play a similar ad from the same committee on behalf of, or attacking Bob Casey, Pennsylvania's incumbent senator. Doesn't mention Dave McCormick. Again, independent expenditure ad aimed at Catholics in Pennsylvania. Cut know about, and I don't know about. I only know about these ads because I happened to run into my old friend, Tony Dolan, who worked in the Reagan White House along with me. And we are both practicing Catholics. And during the Octave of All Souls, we go to Mass on each day. I don't know. Tony might be a daily Mass attender, probably a better Catholic than I am. But during the Octave of All Souls, it's important for Catholics to receive communion every day and visit a cemetery and seek the plenary indulgence for a departed soul. And they can name them, and they can always say for the lost, most forgotten soul in purgatory. It's Catholic theology, not Protestant theology. But the point is, Catholics know it. And Catholics get that ad, and you don't know anything about that, how Catholics are going to vote in Ohio. And I cannot wait, because I do believe that the Catholic vote is what's driving the Latino shift towards Donald Trump and people like Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania, Bernie Moreno in Ohio. And yes, Wisconsin's Lutheran, right? It's primarily a Lutheran place. Evangelical Michigan. There are people voting for Mike Rogers in Michigan, Eric Hovde in Wisconsin, because they want the Senate in the hands of people who are anti-Catholic. There are a lot of Catholics in Arizona that want Carrie Lake to win because they just know. I can't remember her opponent is Ruben Gallegos, most radical guys I've ever seen run for the Senate and have a chance. He's just a hard leftist and honored veteran. Thank you for your service. I'm not going to vote for someone that far to the left. I just will never do that. Nella Domenici in New Mexico. Again, there are trends that no one covers. What are the Catholics doing? Do you see that poll? Because I am so amazed by how many people go to Mass, and it is probably the source of greatest encouragement for me when Holy Day of Obligation, like last Friday, I had a blowout Friday morning, and I was not in a good place, but I went and heard the best sermon I'd heard in a long time, and the Mass was Friday at noon. And it was completely jammed in downtown Alexandria, Virginia, at the Basilica of St. Mary's. And I thought, this country's okay. As long as religious freedom is okay, the free exercise of religion. And then I heard My Presbyterian pastor, I'm an evangelical Roman Catholic Presbyterian, so I go to Mass on Saturday or early Sunday, and I go to Presbyterian services with my wife, who's a cradle Presbyterian. And our Presbyterian pastor gave great sermon and teaching on said, this country's fine, provided the Constitution remains strong, and I think it will, and people get out and vote. So please you can register, even if you've never voted before in states like Michigan and Wisconsin, you've never voted before. But if you're in the right kind of state, including Virginia and Maryland and Michigan and Wisconsin and North Carolina and New Mexico and Nevada, you can go today, take proof of your residence, take proof, driver's license will work, or an electric bill, or even take a pharmacy. If you've got, it works with TSA. If you've got a medication, you can show this is my ID. If no one doesn't want to let you vote, if someone tries to stop you from voting, stay in line. And if someone says you're not eligible, say, I want to file a provisional.